Welcome to the other side. I've been doing a lot of thinking lately about what happens after life, after death, after watching too many paranormal documentaries hosted by people wearing too much eyeliner. Many believe ghosts, psychics, and near-death experiences are proof of something beyond our world, but I say that they're just proof that we need better lighting and fewer Ouija boards. Tonight I'm going to show you exactly what to do when you find yourself face-to-face with a spirit, a psychic, or that big old light at the end of the tunnel. Because around here we don't fear the unknown, we give it a tutorial. Before we dive in, I'm going to ask you to please like this video, share, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us grow. And also please consider becoming a member on our Patreon or supporting our work through Buy Me a Coffee. The links are in the description below. I thank you very much. Ghosts are the original bad roommates. They make noise at 3 a.m., they refuse to pay rent, and they're always making it cold for no reason. Ghosts have haunted the human imagination for thousands of years. From ancient Egypt, where spirits of the dead were thought to linger among the living, to China and Japan, where ancestors' souls were honored and sometimes feared. In medieval Europe, ghosts were seen as restless souls seeking justice or redemption, often used by the church to teach moral lessons. Today, we view ghosts as anything from a constant presence to a poltergeist, which is a terrifying creature that can terrorize humans with otherworldly sounds, moving objects and furniture, opening windows and closing doors, or appearing and disappearing into thin air. But if your house is haunted, don't panic, because I got you covered with John the Preacher's 3-step ghost evacuation system, trademark pending. Now, throughout history, when people have had a poltergeist, they've called in a priest, a shaman, or they just moved out. But in the 1970s, America upgraded to celebrity ghost hunters. We got Ed and Lorraine Warren, proof that the afterlife does have a PR department. All right, now Ed and Lorraine Warren, they were the original paranormal power couple. All right, they showed up at every haunted house in America, from New England all the way out to Hollywood. And they were actually probably the inspiration for the movie Ghostbusters. We know Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis, who wrote the script, were very interested in the paranormal and very interested in the work of Ed and Lorraine Warren. They investigated two of the most famous haunting cases that we have. The first one is, of course, the Amityville Horror House. That was back in 1974 in Amityville, New York. There was a man named Ronald DeFeo Jr. who murdered his entire family. Okay, this house was on Ocean Avenue. A year later, the Lutz family moved in, and they started seeing writing and blood on the walls and hearing weird screams and stuff like that, and they just moved out faster than you can say we need to break the lease. And the other case that the Warrens investigated that was very famous was the Conjuring House. Okay, the Conjuring House, this was the parents' family. It was a sweet family out in Rhode Island, and they were in that house for 7 years, okay? They experienced everything from ghost witches to furniture that kept moving around, and they had the police there. The police documented everything, and they had all kinds of eyewitnesses that went into that house and saw things moving around and heard the voices, and there was no explanation. Thousands of people showed up to watch all the people that went into that house to verify the goings-on. And that was the house that they based the movie Poltergeist on. All right, now, spoiler alert, in the movie Poltergeist, they just moved the headstones. Okay. That's all I'm going to say. But in this case, this was a real phenomenon like that, and it captured everybody's imagination. And then things kind of went quiet in the ghost world. Now we got this new show on Netflix, which I enjoy very much, True Hauntings. It has some real documentation of doors opening and closing all on their own. They got it on camera, which we like to see. We like to see actual evidence in these cases. The first is Chris DeCesare. All right, he was in Geneseo College. That's also up in upstate New York. I don't know what it is with upstate New York. Apparently, Ghosts love it because a lot of these cases are up there. I don't know if it's the ley lines or something. We're going to have to do another short on that, maybe. Why upstate New York? But this is Geneseo College up there. This is in the 80s in a dorm called Erie Hall. And this ghost was named Tommy, apparently. And had some connection with his family. In it was back in the Revolutionary War. Guy was tortured by Native Americans and mutilated, and then he just kept showing up in that dorm room. Now, I don't know what's scarier, a free-floating apparition with a hat or the smell of a haunted dorm room during finals week. Tough call. Then the other case in that show was April Miller's family. Yeah, that was out in Utah in 2004, and that was a nice Victorian house that they bought that practically screamed, "I contain spirits," and it did. And they moved in, the renovations got weird, and then the reflections in the mirror got even weirder. Okay? They just had, that ghost had better timing than their home inspector, that's all. Eventually, they had to get a psychic in there to cleanse the place. All right? I had a personal ghost story. Not too bad, really, if you think about it. I moved into an apartment, and one of the first things I set down a box, I was drinking a beer like you do when you move in, had it right on top of the middle of the box, and it just all on its own, whoop, started pouring over. Beer pouring out everywhere, and I was like, this is weird. And from that day forward, I never felt alone. And that whether I was with a crowd of people or it was just me, I never felt alone in that place. But it really didn't bother me. It was just kind of a comforting presence. I guess me and that ghost, we just got along. All right. The funny thing is, my sister moved into that same apartment after I did, and she moved in with about 15 dogs. And that there was always making a racket, and I don't think the ghost liked that situation as much. Okay, she had a giant TV case that she'd leave the TV on so the dogs would be less nutty, you know. And she come home one time, and all the cords were unplugged from the power strip, and the cable box is undone. And behind this case, there's no way the dogs could have got to it. And one time she had a friend come over and was looking in the front hallway, and she called her up on the phone and said, "Hey, you got to tell your mom or whoever that lady is to stop creeping me out." And my sister had to tell him, there's nobody in the building. Everybody's on vacation. That's when I knew I had to do something. That's when I knew I had to make a video on how to escape ghost attack. Okay? And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you the short right now. I'm going to put the description in the link below. And if you're experiencing a haunting, or you know anybody that's experienced a haunting, go ahead and share this short. Look at the link in the description and share it out with them. I'll go ahead and play it right now.
John the Preacher here, about to show you how to escape a ghost attack in 3 easy steps. Step 1, ghosts create cold spots. So get yourself a John the Preacher sage scarf. It's got sage, it's got salt, it's got crystals, and it's going to protect you from cold spots and dispel evil spirits all in one shot. Step 2. Ghosts have romantical feelings too, so you got to make sure that you dress modestly for bed. Step 3. All else fails, you haunt them right back.
Here, have a pamphlet. I made it myself. You read this and you're going to change your mind on just about everything in 3 days. Hey, where are you going? Hey, Gilbert, come back. Get back here. I'm going to tell you about the government, what they're doing, why they're doing it. Okay, so remember, ghosts feed on fear, bad vibes, and college students who don't replace their smoke detector batteries. Keep calm and keep your sage scarf handy. And above all, please support our work on Patreon or buy me a copy, okay, so we can keep getting this tough information out there. And comment below if you ever had a ghostly experience, okay? Or if you just want to haunt your ex's new house. Did you ever have to hire a psychic to cleanse your place like the Millers did? Let us know down below. And speaking of psychics, once you hire one, you realize they're everywhere. Some talk to the dead, some talk to angels, and some just want to talk about their rates. So let's see how to tell if you're talking to one who is legit or just one that's really good at reading your credit card numbers. From ancient oracles at Delphi to Victorian-era mediums holding candlelit seances, people have long sought guidance from those who claim to perceive hidden truths. Across cultures, seers and diviners have interpreted dreams, read the stars, or sensed energies beyond normal perception. Today's psychics range from spiritual advisors to entertainers, continuing an age-old fascination with the idea that intuition can bridge the gap between past and future. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how to spot the real deal from the real deal. Step right up from my step-by-step guide to psychic-proofing your life. Edgar Cayce. Edgar Cayce, most active in the 1930s. Now, this man could fall asleep faster than a cat on a radiator. And while he was sleeping, he could tell you about world events, or he could tell you about what vitamins you forgot to take in a past life. And I can barely remember where I put my keys when I wake up from a nap. Pretty impressive. This man predicted everything from the stock market crash in 1929, which brought us the Great Depression, to World War II, to predicting that parts of the West Coast and eventually New York City would fall into the sea. Things we got to look out for, given his track record. All right. Another big name in the psychic field is a woman by the name of Baba Vanga. All right, Baba Vanga, she was a blind mystic from Bulgaria. She was active in the 80s, mostly. She passed away in 1996, okay? And she apparently saw things, world events coming decades ahead of time. All right, she predicted the fall of the Soviet Union. She predicted Chernobyl. And she's also predicted a nuclear war, which thankfully hasn't happened yet. Now, I don't know what's scarier, the thought of nuclear war or my current electric bill. What else? Hollywood psychics. We got Hollywood and TV psychics. John Edwards had a very popular show crossing over, and we got Tyler Henry, the baby face, Tyler Henry. He works really well because when he talks to the celebrities, they think they're dead already because he looks like an angel. We've got TikTok psychics, all right? You can't even look for a quick sandwich recipe without somebody on TikTok telling you that Mercury is in retrograde or that one of your exes is trying to get in touch with you in the astral realm. All right, these psychics, they give you readings with ring lights. Apparently, the other side has really good Wi-Fi these days. Now, the only experience I have with a psychic is I got in touch with a pet psychic. Okay. Now, this pet psychic, I have 2 dogs that are alive and 2 dogs that have passed on to Rainbow Ridge. All right. And she was doing pretty good with the ones that were alive. I was impressed. She knew the one of them. She says she likes apples. That's her favorite treat, which was pretty good because I know a lot of dogs that won't eat anything but meat. They won't go near a fruit or vegetable. So she got that one. She nailed that one on the head. But then at the end of the reading, about 15, 20 minutes into it, things got weird. She started saying that one of our older dogs was just in the new dog's body, that they had soul swapped or something like that. And it really just, she got on shaky ground. It started to feel like she was just making it up as she went along. And it started to smell a little funny to me. So that's when I decided I got to do something about this. I got to let everybody in our community know how to spot a psychic who's not the real deal. Okay. And I figured out I figured out a way to vet them, to figure out step by step if they know what they're talking about. All right, that's in the description below. There's a link to it. It's how to tell a real psychic from a fake. You're gonna love this one. I'm gonna play it right now. Share it with anybody who's dealing with a charlatan psychic out there. How to tell a real psychic from a fake. I'm gonna tell you right now. A real psychic is not gonna give you any bad news. Okay? If they're being too negative, that's a sign that they're unprofessional. And if they try to start warning you about something, that's another sign you got yourself a faker. Watch. Tell me about my fame and fortune.
You're gonna be rich and very famous.
What about them other cards?
Spirit says don't use those.
You don't have anything that you want to warn me about, do you?
No, nothing bad's gonna happen to you. You are divinely protected.
There you have it. That's how you pick a good psychic. No negativity, and definitely no warnings about no visitation from no hat man. Please like, share, and subscribe. Okay, so there you have it. If you've got a psychic out there who's telling you that you used to be a pharaoh, or they're trying to sell you a $200 cleansing candle, congratulations. You just met a scam artist that's got a really cool window display. All right, you tell me in the comments. You ever been to a psychic? Did they seem like the real deal? Let us know down below. All right, now of course, you don't need a psychic to see the light all the time because sometimes it's already shining right in your face. On to near-death experiences, or NDEs as the experts call them. When people claim that they've seen the afterlife and then come back. But nobody ever talks about the exit strategy, except for John the Preacher. Okay, accounts of journeys beyond death appear in ancient texts from Egypt, India, and Greece, often describing radiant light, peace, and encounters with departed loved ones. Modern reports surged in the 1970s when advances in medical resuscitation brought people back from clinical death with vivid stories to tell. Whether interpreted as spiritual revelations or the brain's final defense mechanism, near-death experiences remain one of humanity's most profound mysteries. All right, now we're talking NDEs. The first thing I want to bring up is the Tibetan Book of the Dead, also known as the Bardo Thodos. All right, the Tibetan Book of the Dead is kind of like an ancient cosmic GPS for the soul. It'd be like a step-by-step guide that they'd sing to you as you were dying, and it'd be like, if you see the wrathful deity, turn left. If you go to eternal bliss, you've gone too far. What it is when you cross over, you become a bardo, and you can talk to other bardos, which are your departed relatives. And the whole point is you are supposed to understand that you are one with the universe and that the scary monsters that you are seeing are just projections of your self-conscious. And if you can figure that out and hang tight, then you will escape samsara and you won't have to be reincarnated. And if you don't, well, then you got to start packing it up and get ready to come back into the life chute. Now, this is what they sing to people when they're dying, when they just had died in Tibet. And this is kind of funny. This was also during the 70s that this became popular in the West and America. From what I understand, the people that actually practice this in Tibet, they don't understand what the big deal is. There's nothing particularly interesting about that little section as part of a bigger book. But people tend to really like it here because they see the similarities between modern-day near-death experiences and what's written in that ancient text. Now, the term near-death experience was coined by a man named Raymond Moody. This was in the 1970s, and Raymond Moody would start to talk to people who had been resuscitated and brought back from clinical death and found out that they had quite the story to tell. All the things, all the hallmarks that we see, the bright light, the life review, talking to dead relatives, he's the one that brought this into the popular ethos, all right, for us to begin having this conversation. Another important figure in this realm is a man by the name of Michael Newton. Michael Newton was a hypnotherapist who wrote 2 books that I read, both of his books, very interesting books. One is called Journey of Souls, and it talks about lives between lives. Okay, he started hypnotizing people under hypnotherapy, asking them about their lives, past lives, and then he dig a little deeper and found out that we're all part of soul families, that your wife, your husband, your mother, your daughter, your brothers and sisters all come into the life together as a soul group to learn lessons and teach each other this and that. And you kind of plan things out ahead of time. So if you got a life that's a little shaky here, you're not too happy with, well, guess what? You picked it. At least according to Michael Newton in his book, what he found out from these people under hypnosis. Another really fascinating detail in that book that I always enjoyed was one of the people that he was talking to in this regression was talking about their life in ancient Egypt, and they just mentioned this little detail that, like, oh yeah, that was back when the Longheads were around. You take that as you will. All right. You know that's the kind of thing we discuss on this channel, all right? Another important case, I would say, in modern history is very recent. Stephanie Arnold. Stephanie Arnold, this is back in 2013. I heard about this case on NPR. All right. She was clinically dead for 37 seconds. She died during childbirth. And she knew it was going to happen. All right. She had all kinds of premonitions. She knew the medical terms. It just came to her. All the things that was going to befall her. And she told the doctors ahead of time. And guess what? Believe it or not, they didn't take her seriously. I don't know because she was saying because she was a woman or because she was saying she was having crazy psychic dreams. Either way, they didn't take her seriously, and she died exactly the way that she told them that she was going to die. And the thing is, she went to a hypnotherapist to get over the trauma of what happened to her, dying during childbirth. And during her session, she was able to recall which doctor delivered the baby. It wasn't the one that was supposed to, and she knew that it was a different one. She knew what her husband was wearing when he got off the plane from New York when he was called back because of her medical emergency. She knew what the nurses were talking about in the break room down the hall, even though her eyes were taped shut and she was dead. Okay? That's weird stuff. And it kind of hard to think that consciousness just comes from inside your own brain if she's able to tell what's going on in the nurse's station down the hall. Doesn't really add up, but this is all verified. They were able to verify that all the medical professionals that this is exactly what happened. It's an interesting case. I encourage you to look it up. Now, I did have my own sort of near-death experience, and I don't want to give you all the details. I wrapped my car around a tree, all right, and I woke up with a terrible concussion, and I'll just say it like this, okay? The information about how to come back from a near-death experience was downloaded to me. It was downloaded to me, and I have the responsibility, I think, from the other side to share it with you. All right, now that's why I'm going to go ahead and before you follow that big shining light, I want you to watch this. Okay, this is how to escape your near-death experience, and I'm going to play it right now.
John the Preacher here, about to show you how to escape your NDE in 3 easy steps. Step 1, do not head toward the light. I made that mistake after me and my brother Tucker went in the zoo enclosure to test the theory that grizzly bears are afraid of cotton candy. Turns out they're not. Step 2, refuse the life review. Don't do it. Tell them you're not interested. Unfortunately, I had to go through a second life review when me and my cousin Jim jumped into the swimming hole at the quarry and I got struck by lightning before I even hit the water. Step 3, don't let the angel talk to you. Just say you want to go back before they can even get a word out of their angelical mouth to bewitch you. Send me right back. I made that mistake after me and my buddy Clyde were playing 2 a.m. motorcycle joust in the Walmart parking lot. I lost.
So there you have it. Ghosts can't hurt you, psychics can't fool you, and death can't catch you. Now you got a solid game plan. All right? If you ever had an out-of-body experience, let us know down in the comments. But please, keep it PG-13, all right? This is a family show. This ain't the Spirit Realms version of Tinder. But we do want to hear from you down in the comments, okay? All right, at the end of the day, friends, life and death aren't enemies. They're just roommates sharing the same weird apartment complex. One's noisy, the other one's quiet, and every now and again they borrow each other's sugar. So stay curious, stay laughing, and if you see that light at the end of the tunnel, tell it you're busy and you need to go back to the bunker with John the Preacher. Tune in next time when we'll be discussing astronomy. We'll be talking 3-eye Atlas, the moon, and even the magnetic pole shift of our very own Mother Earth. If you made it this far in the video, I want to thank you, and I want to please encourage you to join our community on Patreon or on Buy Me a Coffee. On Patreon, we got some different tiers there, and one of the tiers, if you sign up, I will make a personalized video for anyone that you'd like, person of your choosing, and I'll do it for a special occasion, a special message for them for maybe their birthday, Christmas, Easter, Arbor Day, whatever you like. Check it out. Links in the description below. And as always, please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching.